Hello, I'm Phoenix. I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Eve. I use any pronouns.
And this is our first episode and our first Talking in the Tavern of season 3 of Hearth and Tome.
I know! This is so exciting.
This is our first, actually about 2025 episode as
Welcome.
well.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Weird.
Oh, I still don't write 2025. It must be said. Because
I barely write the date anymore, to be fair.
Yeah, no, fair.
I say helps. Actually makes it worse, because then when I do have to write the date, I'm like, what year even is it?
1942.
I'm not that old.
Nah.
Not quite.
Almost. I know. But in our Talking in the Taverns, we're going to continue our lovely little organisation of just talking about stuff we've been reading recently, covering the books we are currently reading, what we've just finished, and what we're up to soon. How many books are you on for the start of the year?
I'm okay. Right.
Uh-huh.
Here's. I've noticed you're ahead.
Yes, so have I.
But there is a good reason for this, which we'll get to. But I've read 6 books so far this year.
Stunning. I've read 9. That's really close, though.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not that far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
The reason is to do with what I'm currently reading, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
But there is a reason.
Okay.
It's reasonable, trust me.
That sounds really fucking ominous. I've just been mainly stalking the number rather than what you've been reading, so I have absolutely no clue what you've been reading.
I've not really been looking at what you've been reading either.
No.
I did it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit tempted to just go and read a bunch of graphic novels today, but then I was like, I don't actually care that much. And also, I think what this is remnant competition from last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to flush it out of my system by not feeding it.
We don't have to compete anymore.
Exactly. I need to not fuel the fire and just let it drain out. You know.
Uh-huh.
It's like a toxin has been in my body, and I'm trying to gradually let it out.
It happens to the best of us. As of next week, I'll probably drop to one a month again. So
well,
this is just a weird quiz.
This is the thing. It's enjoy it while it lasts, because
exactly.
You've got the time. Also, right, I am a strong proponent of I'm not a quote unquote mood reader, right? I'm not one of those people who's really because I know some people will I know some people will put a book down partway through because they're not in the mood for it anymore. That I cannot do.
And that's why I read 5 or 6.
Oh, see, I can't.
Okay.
For me, the extent of my mood reading is whatever. When I finish a book, I'm what do I feel like reading next? Right? I don't have
okay.
I know some people are this is the list of books I'm going to read in this month. And I don't do that.
I can't do a TBR. TBRs just don't mesh with me.
Not a monthly TBR.
No.
Not at all.
A yearly one of 3, yes.
I just have my TBR is literally just the books that are on my shelf that I have not yet read.
Stunning.
It's that simple. It's just
strong system. Strong.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've remembered what it was. Okay. I am a firm believer in when your brain is in reading mode, read.
Ah, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you notice that you're really feeling reading a bunch on a certain week or a certain month or a certain day, go with it, because you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. You know?
Yeah.
This day may not come again for a little while. And then
it will surely not.
Do you know what I mean? Well, exactly. Yeah. It's we all go through phases, you know. So yeah, no, I think while when you're in this headspace where it's I want to read, then it's you got to go with it.
Exactly.
And I've not massively been in that headspace the past couple of weeks, which is part of why I haven't read very much.
Yeah, you would be overtaken me by now.
I've been in Minecraft headspace.
Oh hell yeah!
It's fine. Everything's fine.
See,
I'm not hyper-fixating.
No, I'd never guess that. Have you looked at my barn yet?
I have.
It's majestic. Books. Minecraft. Minecraft books. Meh. They were never a hit with me.
No.
No.
To be fair, when I was, younger, The only Minecraft books were like, the Minecraft Redstone. Like,
yeah,
it was like how to do redstone in Minecraft or how to do combat in Minecraft. And it's like,
nah, not a chance.
Why am I reading this in a book?
If I want to know about redstone, I watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Google is for. I don't want to buy a big chunky hardback book of like redstone mechanics. No,
yeah,
thank you.
I don't want that. No thanks.
Am I some sort of nerd?
Ha!
Anyway.
Speaking of nerds, what did you just finish? What are you finishing up? What's
so this is of the 6 books that I've read this month, this is both. I think this was my most recent finish. Yes, it was, and it's also like the one that I'm most interested to talk about.
Oh,
right?
Okay, stunning.
Because like of the 6, right? One of the 6 was our book club book for February, so I'm obviously not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Yes,
one
you
was
can tune in.
Find us in a couple of weeks. One was a collection of sci-fi short stories, which I enjoyed, but it's kind of hard to
pen down.
And then yeah, exactly. And then I read the second book of Hell's Moving Castle.
Stunning.
I finally actually read, having started it, I think in February of last year. I finally actually sat down and read Redwall on my e-reader, because I never read on my e-reader. But I was like, I'm going to start reading this, and then I read like 10 pages of it and put it down for like 11 months.
Sweet.
So that only leaves me with 2 other books, and one of those was Skullduggery Pleasant, which I read as a kid, and I was like, I want to reread this and see if it's actually as good as I remember, and I did quite enjoy it.
That's good. That's great when things hold up. Yeah.
But the one I want to talk about is one that I bought on a whim, sort of.
Fantastic.
So I'd seen it on bookshelves in shops, and I'd seen a couple of people mention it online, and I think it had popped up in my Storygraph recommendations at some point as well. But it's August Kitco and the Mechas from Space by Alex White. It's the first in a duology, and it's it's exactly what it says. Like, it's about this guy, August Kitco, who
great name,
finds himself involved with some nonsense to do with mechas from space. It's really good. It's like space opera. It's a bit sort of goofy. It's queer. It's a blast. It's also like there's a lot of stuff about music, because music is how they music is one of the ways that they sort of communicate with the mechas. And then there's obviously like a big bad evil guy that they have to fight off. And it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple of things I don't love about it. The main character's like love interest is this non-binary character who is like a famous pop star.
Ooh, okay.
And
that's fun.
It alternates between their 2 perspectives. And the pop star's perspective, I found it really interesting. Their name's Ardent Violet.
Love it.
And like, I found their perspective really interesting, but also like they this is gonna get me in trouble. They fall into that very stereotypical, like very flamboyant queer person thing.
Okay, yeah.
I really struggle to relate to that, because that is so not me.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And I find it deeply annoying sometimes. And to be fair, their point of view very much makes it clear that this is sort of like a character they play to like protect themselves from the world, sort of thing.
Yeah,
exactly. But at the same time, there were times where I'm like, oh my god, shut up.
You need to stop. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But yes, I was every so often I was just a bit like, oh, you're kind of annoying me. But I am gonna read the next one. I think maybe there's going to be a third one. I don't know. I'm definitely going to read the next one. Give it a go. They've also got kind of fun covers. They're very colourful.
That's good.
It's like pink, and then it's got like yellow and blue text on it. And also like the background is just a big fucking mecha head.
Nice. Perfect.
But yeah,
that's better.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in a while that I've been, well, it was one of the first times in a while that I've read a book and been like, I enjoyed that. But I did have some, like, very specific issues. Like, a lot of the time when I have issues with the book, it's sort of vague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I didn't really love, like, the writing style or whatever. But in this one, it was, like, a very specific thing of, like, there were certain things that just bugged me.
For sure.
And I was like, oh.
It's kind of good when you can pinpoint what bothers you, though.
I think it helped. Exactly, because it meant that I was like, I do enjoy the rest of this book. It's just these specific like things that are getting me. And I think if I hadn't been able to pin it down, I think the whole book would have annoyed me more.
Yeah.
But I can recommend it.
Okay.
It's a blast.
Yeah. It's always good when you can find things you don't like, because then you know what not to read as well.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if I like stardom in books necessarily, and you know, like that. But I love music in books, which is really weird. It's really strange.
You should. Have you ever read? What's it called? A Song for a New Day.
No.
By Sarah Pinsker. It's like this slightly dystopian. It came out in like 2019, so it was just pre-pandemic, but it's all about like an alternate history, like slight future world where there has been like a bunch of things happened that meant that the world was in like really strict lockdown for a while. Again, eerie because this came out in like late 2019, like pre-pandemic.
That is spooky.
And it was like there's moments that are like really, but
on the cusp.
The two main characters, one of them is a musician who was like getting really big just before stuff kicked off. I think it was like there was like terrorism attacks and then also like a massive pandemic, so it was like everything got really restricted, and then part of the restrictions was that like concerts, like live concerts, got banned, and like gatherings with more than a few people are illegal.
Yeah.
And so one of the main characters, Luce, is a musician, and she was just starting to get big, and then obviously all of this happens, and then the other main character, Rosemary, is like somebody who's grown up sort of like during all of this and then in the after, and has grown up with like everything being like you access everything online, like it's all through what they call hood space, which is like sort of virtual reality sort of thing, like going to concerts through virtual reality and stuff. And she starts working for this company that like is like a music label, but it's like the big one. You know, they're like this huge one that's like big conglomeration.
Everyone wants to get,
and it's her job to like find new talent and then like bring them into the like corporate, you know, structure. And so the two of them meet. It's really, it was really, really good. I can really recommend it.
Apparently on Goodreads I marked it as want to read. So I must have heard about it. It's ringing some bells. This looks really fun, actually, but also really spooky. I might have talked about it on
the podcast before. I don't know.
Maybe
it's not super spooky, but I see what you mean about the cover.
I like the cover. I think it's cool.
But
like spooky, as in it reminds me of 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is really weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, oh god.
They predicted.
But yeah, it was really interesting, and
it
like the whole
fun.
thing is about like music and love of music and human connection and how important it is to like there's because a lot of it's about, you know, they have like illegal small concerts in like underground venues, you know, that people go to in person that are like technically against the law, but it is like safe now, right? Like the viruses are gone and everything. It's just that everybody's so scared that something might happen that the laws are still in place.
That's interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I really liked it. I can really strongly recommend that one.
Heck yeah.
And it's all about, you know, hope in a fucked up time.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, a little bit eerie.
Online concerts were always such a weird concept to me, but I kind of like the sound of this. This is fun. VR concerts would have been wild in lockdown.
Yeah.
sounds cool.
It's just like there is this weird little clump of speculative fiction that came out in like 2018, 2019 that's all about like what if there was a pandemic and the world got shut down. It's so strange. There's so many authors who did this and wrote these stories just before, and then people afterwards obviously go, this is a COVID thing, and I'm like, it's actually it's not a COVID thing.
You're 2019.
Chance. Like the last Wayfarer's book. I think that came out after COVID, but I think she'd written most of it pre-COVID, and it's like super lockdown.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah.
Anyway.
Fucking spooky.
But yes, if you want a book about music that isn't
pop
like
star.
There's not like
superstardom. I just find them difficult.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I don't really want to read about the life of like fictional Taylor Swift. You know?
God, no. No one wants that. I find it really strange as well that was the main character called August in the book you just finished. I find that really strange because a book that has to do about music, everyone named in a book about music always has to have someone called August. It's great because V.E. Schwab did that, the same thing. There are a violinist called August, and I fucking love it.
I know you've talked about it.
Because I just finished a V.E. Schwab book, and I just find I reread Vicious. I read it on audiobook because I'd never listened to an audiobook before. The narrator killed me a little bit inside because it was just monotone and so slow.
Oh no!
It was really
That's heartbreaking.
bad. It was really bad. But you know, my crack put everything at 2 times speed and above really paid off because it was just normal speed. It just felt normal. It's so good. It was not as good as I remember it being. Vicious.
Just out of curiosity, when did you last read it?
4 years ago. Maybe?
So like you've probably changed quite a lot since then.
I
notice this a lot, especially with YA stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's stuff that I read that I enjoyed, and I'm like, I think I would hate this if I read it now.
Yeah, that's why I avoid doing really far back rereads.
Yeah, it's not
I
worth
reread
it.
stuff that I know.
You can trust Becky Chambers.
Yeah, exactly.
You can trust Taz Muir.
That's what's next on my audiobook to-dos, is to get on them Becky Chambers.
The Wayfarer's audiobooks. The narrator's like good. Like she's not like great, but she's not like a horrific, you know. She's like,
that's good.
It's solid.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it just the one person that does all of them, or?
Yes, at least.
Stunning. Okay.
She definitely does all of the 4 Wayfarers ones. I don't know if it's the same narrator. Okay. I don't even know if there are audiobooks of Sam for the Wild Belt.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh no, there are. There are audiobooks of Sam for the Wild Belt and Prayer for the Crown Shy. That's a different narrator.
Okay. Because for some reason I was like, they must be multicast because of everyone that's in it. But I understand if not.
And to be taught if fortunate is the same narrator as the Wayfarers ones.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. I need to get on them. It's just because, I don't know, it was just so monotone, and I don't know if that added to me not really liking it again. But for context, the book's about these 2 college students who decide to... there's this thing in this universe called extraordinary people. That's people who have had a near-death experience that caused them... Well, they have died and come back with extraordinary powers. And it's their relationship after one of them tries to kill the other. After one of them kills the girlfriend by becoming extraordinary. Because he can't control his powers. It's not really much of a spoiler. It happens in chapter 5 or something. If it is a spoiler, I'm so sorry.
Too late now, isn't it?
It's too late. But it was just... for a 400-page book, it felt like I was there forever.
Yeah.
Like, they were... Because it mucks around with time, so, like, this guy's just got out of jail while we also... Like, 10 years in the future, while we're at college with them still. And, like, I like that kind of thing. I love the jump around in time. But I'm also like, they could have been a little bit better. Could have been a little bit smoother. I'm going to reread the second one, but maybe not audio. Because it was frustrating as hell. Please stop going monotone and just dragging out the words. I find it also really fun that the main characters are called Victor and Eli, and at that point in V.E. Schwab's like publishing journey, they just start going by V.E. Schwab, V.E. Victor Eli. I thought that was very fun.
Yeah.
They realised it minutes before publication, so they couldn't change their names. But I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, there's going to be people who think that's like a deliberate thing, aren't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I just think that's kooky. I like it. And I'm getting back into my audiobook kick because I've been playing games and audiobooking at any time.
I've been listening to my audiobook a bit recently as well.
Oh hell yeah!
Been sucked back into the Adrian because I've been slowly, I think since like late November, been listening to book 2 as an audiobook.
Yeah, I need to get to that.
I'm like 60% of the way through ish.
Stunning.
Now.
Okay.
But it is slow going because it's like a 20. Well, at full speed, it's like at normal speed, it's like a 25-hour audiobook. And I only get to listen to it in like little chunks, so it's slow going, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
The bit I'm scared to go into it because I'm scared everyone's gonna die. R.I.P.
I don't think any of the main characters have died yet.
Don't think. Okay.
What I will say is that it definitely gets better as it goes on.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's just because I've been listening to it again recently. But once you're past about halfway,
so it really kicks off.
It's like, as I've said before in the show, I don't really read a lot of like big chunky fantasy novels.
I love them.
And obviously I know this is not that chunky in like the grand scheme of things.
I know 600 pages is pretty chunky. Is it 600?
It's
500?
600 or 700, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty chunky.
But it is like that classic like chunky fantasy thing where it's like everything is like everybody has like motivations and you know what I mean, like it's all very like laid out, not in like a really not in like a really, you know, I'm going to tell you everything sort of way, but in like
let me tell you the deep stories of my past.
You spend so much time with all of these characters that you like really get a sense for them.
Well, he does it really well, Adrian.
He does. Really like, but like I say, it does mean that, you know, takes a fucking age to
yeah, it does a bit to get through
to get through them. Yeah. What are you currently reading?
Because I'm on my audiobook kick, I'm restarting Dune. I made it to 37% as of this afternoon. I really enjoyed it the first time I read it, really weirdly enough, because I was going to read it to just a little bit, just to see if I didn't like it or not.
You didn't read it that long ago, did you?
No, I read it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think it was like during the summer, so I'm rereading it now. And it's a full cast audiobook. And I just find it really good. And it's got dramatic music. It's very atmospheric. I think I don't know if they redid it because of the movie. But they might have. But I'm finding that very fun. Also in tandem with that, because I can't be chilled about sci-fi, I'm reading The High Republic first book.
Oh, yes! I noticed you were reading that.
Because I needed to get off my ass and actually read it. So I grabbed my copy and just started. I'm only like 100 pages in, but it's so fun.
It's really fun.
It's so good.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to be this good.
I'm very passionate about Star Wars The High Republic. I think it's a blast.
Yeah.
And I think that The Acolyte, I enjoyed The Acolyte. It's not really given The High Republic the best showing, shall we say. But the High Republic books, I haven't read many of the comics, but I keep meaning to. But the books are like, and there's a few that are, I think they're available as like books, but they are audio dramas. I think you can get them as like a script, like a book that is like the script. But I know that they are like fully narrated, like casted audio dramas as well. But there are so many High Republic things that I would definitely recommend finding like a reading order.
Oh hell yes, okay.
Because it does get a little bit
confusing,
complicated at times.
Okay, because I know just after this, like Rogue One will happen at some point. But I think this is like 200 years before it. I don't know.
It's It's quite a bit before.
Quite a bit before.
Because...
Which I'm happy about, because it feels so disconnected.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think The Acolyte, I think is 100 years before episode 1.
Okay.
I think that's quite a bit after... at least the first bit of the High Republic. I think the Light of the Jedi, I think, is like hundreds of years prior.
Stunning. Okay.
Approximately 200 years before Phantom Menace. Yeah.
Oh yes, good.
And then I think so. They've broken it into phases because, of course, they did. Because MCU has influenced everything. Yeah. And so it's like phase 1 is all 200 years before, and then phase 2 is like a prequel phase, so it's 150 years before phase 1 is, and then phase 3 continues on after phase 1. It's whole ass
tower of cards here.
But yes, I can definitely recommend find a reading order.
I will do.
And because there's adult novels, YA novels, and like junior, I think they call them junior reader or something, like middle grade novels.
I would love a middle grade Star Wars.
But you do have to be careful, because I know there's also some that are just like middle grade retellings, effectively, of the adult novels. Okay. So you don't want those ones, because there's ones that are like their own stories.
Okay. That's fun.
But, yeah. it's a blast. I'm glad you're reading it.
Yeah, it's because I rewatched all of the prequel films recently. Oh, yeah. And because I was like, oh, surely because I watched them, and then I was like, surely they must at least be not as great as I remember. I actually thoroughly enjoyed rewatching them. There's still loads of like issues that I don't like with them.
Yes.
But I was just like, oh, I need to get back on that Star Wars, and was like, oh wait, this is the perfect time while I'm into sci-fi to really head it for it. And it's so fun. The first chapter really threw me. And it's just, I just love spaceflight. Love it.
Okay, yeah, because slight spoiler for literally chapter 1 of the book. And it's not just chapter 1 of the book, it's like the inciting incident for the entire like High Republic thing. Is that there is this, what they end up calling like the Great Hyperspace Disaster, where a ship is in hyperspace and collides with something, gets destroyed, and because it was in hyperspace, the shards of the ship get like scattered all over the place.
Pelted. Must be terrifying.
Like, absolutely terrifying, but really cool.
But really, really cool.
I remember when it came out, there were a lot of people who were like, "Yeah, how did it collide with something in hyperspace?" Yeah, not realizing that that's the entire plot. Because before the first book came out, they put out that first chapter as like a teaser.
Yeah.
And so obviously a bunch of the Star Wars knobs on YouTube were like, you can't collide with something in hyperspace. And I'm like, that's the entire plot of the book. That's just the entire plot of like phase 1 of the High Republic is all about working out like what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And like what's going on behind the scenes. It's
I love the nitty gritty of the behind the scenes. I can't wait to see more of like just the Jedi in general at that time.
Yes. It does take a bit.
I can't wait for the gossip. Yeah.
It's a bit overwhelming at times because there's so many characters get thrown at you.
Okay, I'll make a chart.
But it does mean that you do get this like really, really fun like portrait of the Jedi at their like peak. Because by the time you see Jedi, even in the fucking prequels, they're like on the decline. Yeah,
they're going down because of the fucking yeah.
Spoilers: Emperor Palpatine.
Oh my gosh, he totally won't come back in the later thing. Why did he come back?
God.
Why did they choose to do that? It was such a juxtaposition.
Episode fucking 9. What a mess.
It was such a mess.
It's because everybody got angry about episode 8, even though it was the best.
It was really good.
But it did something new, and people got mad about it. So then they like overcorrected by panicking and making the shit that was episode 9, and impressively managed to unite all the people that both loved and hated The Last Jedi.
We are one.
I don't think anybody liked episode 9.
No, there's elements that are like fine.
Yeah,
but it was the great moment of anyone can be a Jedi to know you only can be a Jedi.
I'm so pissed off about that.
It was such like a Spider-Man
I
moment.
loved the whole like Rey is just Rey. She's not
Rey is
connected
just
to
Rey.
anybody. She's just Rey.
Doesn't need a last
Jedi
name.
happen. And then it's like, no, she's a Palpatine. I'm just like, oh fuck off.
Fuck off. This is not interesting anymore. It was such a I don't agree with that
whole
movie.
like the Force as a genetic thing.
Yeah.
That's so shit.
Such bullshit.
I like the idea that anybody can
anyone.
you know.
Yeah. It would have been so much better if they had just focused on it's Rey can just be Rey. And they also got Finn. Finn's storyline would have been great to also being a Jedi, I think. Stormtrooper to Jedi pipeline.
Yeah,
Would
but
have
he
been
got
fantastic.
sidelined for the crime of being a black man.
Exactly. What happened to him? And him and Poe should have been together. But, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted that, and yet...
Yeah. Anyway.
Corporate America.
This is why I keep saying we should make a Star Wars podcast.
You're so real for this. Maybe you're right. I fucking love Star Wars. It's just so fun. Anyway.
It is. It's such a blast.
Yeah.
But yes. So, is that you?
That is me. Tell me what you're currently reading, because I really need to know.
This is why I've slowed right the fuck down.
Yeah.
I am currently reading 2 books, not including an audiobook, right?
Okay.
So the first book that I'm currently reading is a 900-page hardback
Holy shit.
sci-fi novel.
Stunning. Okay.
It's chunky, right?
Uh-huh.
It's called Exodus the Archimedes Engine. It's a tie-in to a video game that's coming out called Exodus, I think. It's that one that's got Matthew McConaughey in it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know much about it, but yeah.
Neither do I. And I'm reading the tie-in novel.
Perfect.
Because...
Prep. Love it.
It sounded vaguely interesting, the novel, on its own. And it's like classic, like, big scale space opera. So one of the like things in Exodus in the game, as far as I can tell, is that there's a lot of stuff about time dilation, right? About like how when you travel at the speed of light, that affects how time passes for you versus for how time passes for people back on the planet.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right, which is like how we think it would work.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know because we can't travel at the speed of light, but there's this thing that like if you travelled 1 light year away at the speed of light and then came back again, for you, it would not take the same length of time as it would for the people on Earth. So by the time you got back, less time would have passed for you, but everybody on Earth would have had a year. I don't remember the exact details. I'm not a fucking physicist. Anyway.
It doesn't have to make sense.
So it's this like massive, like huge, epic sci-fi novel.
Love it.
It's kind of hard to explain, but it is a tie-in apparently to this game, and it's it's all about like humanity, like goes out into the stars, and then I think the novel's set in like 40,000 AD or something shit like that. Like it's crazy. Like it's so far in the future. And by this time, the first humans that went out into space have like genetically engineered themselves into like higher beings and have called themselves Celestials but also like humans who originally left Earth like before they did but had like less technologically advanced ships are only just now like arriving at this place like light years away in the Centauri cluster of stars. They're only just now arriving because their ships were less technologically advanced and have discovered that like all this time has passed and civilization is like a whole different thing now. And there's a lot of like politics and stuff going on and like espionage and all sorts of crazy shit. It's really interesting. It's like multi POV and all the different POVs have like a different storyline going on. Which makes it very dense.
Yeah.
And also, again, it's a 900-page hardback, which means it's not ideal for reading in bed. Okay?
So that is like not a lot of text on those pages. That would be like 1,000 pages in paperback.
Yeah, it's a chonker.
Yeah.
It really is. And so because it's a chonker, I was like, I need to read something else too.
Yeah.
Because I can't read this in bed.
Absolute weapon.
Like, comfortably.
If you fall asleep with that in your arms.
I will knock myself out. Or kill myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not having this.
No.
So I'm also reading a proof, which is paperback, which is non-fiction, right? This is part of my I want to read more non-fiction.
Beautiful.
I was like, I'm going right in. And it's called Proto, and it's all about the origins of the Proto-Indo-European language, which is like
fun.
this,
Okay.
the like ancient language that was like the ancestor of a lot of modern languages, including English and like Latin and all of the languages that came out of Latin and like German and that whole language family.
Scottish
and like a whole bunch of others. It's fascinating. But again,
dense.
Non-fiction, a bit dense.
Yeah.
So because I'm reading these 2 books, it's really slowed down my reading.
Yeah. I mean, I think
neither of them is like a quick read, you know?
I don't think you chose very dense books.
Well,
it's
because here's what happened, right? I started reading the Exodus book, and I was like, I need other things to read at the same time. So then I went through. I read, I think all of To Winter Nights. I read.
Nice.
Or a lot of it I read while also reading bits of the sci-fi one every so often. Same with Skullduggery Pleasant and the August Kitco book. And then I was like, if I keep this up and keep reading other fiction books, I'm never going to actually like sit down and read this sci-fi one.
Oh, it's trying to make yourself.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. And I was like, it would just end up sitting on my bedside table for months, where I read like a couple of pages every now and then. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I was like, I have to like make myself do this, and also it's a good way to force myself to read a non-fiction book as a way to make sure that I'm reading non-fiction, because I'm gonna have, if I want to read before bed when I'm like lying on my side, I can't do that with this big chunky hardback, so I have to read my non-fiction, which does very helpfully put me to sleep nice and fast.
And the world.
So they're both very interesting. I'm enjoying them both, but they are slow, and it's
really
like
interesting.
Halted my progress.
My eyes locked in on both Scotland and Lord of the Rings and the storygraph description. This is great.
Of what? Oh, of Proto.
Proto.
Yes.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
Because, like,
actually.
you know, it's also a lot about how all of the cultural and mythological stuff of all of the cultures whose language is descended from this language are all very similar, because they all also descended from, like, one... Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's why a lot of mythologies have very similar stories about one certain thing, is because they all come from one story that this like Proto-Indo-European culture had, and it's like divulged and diverged over the years.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Actually,
it's fascinating, which is why I picked up the proof, because I was like, firstly, I want to read more non-fiction, but also I was like, I need to read non-fiction that actually interests me. And that sounded interesting.
I think you've nailed it.
Yeah, but it has
sound quite
meant
cool.
that I haven't been making like very fast progress.
Well,
but that's fine.
Who needs
Because once I finish one of these books, or both of these books, I'll probably read a bunch of other things and blast through
overtake
some,
me,
so.
and I'll be pissed again.
But we don't care.
But we don't care, because we're not in a competition. And anyway, the 1,000-page one sounds really fun, actually. Like, I know nothing about the video game, but it sounds fun.
Duology, I think.
Oh,
I think there's going to be 2 that are both like tie-ins. I don't know how it ties into the game. I mean, the game isn't even out yet. I don't even know when the game's coming out.
It'd be fantastic if it was just a retelling of the games.
I don't know if it even has a release date yet.
It's just the audiobook is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, God.
That's the whole thing.
I think it's probably, like, late this year, maybe?
Huh.
Maybe.
Fun.
Maybe next year for the game, but I don't know. I was just like, do you know what?
Why not?
I wanted to read more like space opera sci-fi. I wanted to read like more chunky books.
Yeah.
Why not?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly. One very heavy stone.
One very large brick.
More of a boulder, really, yeah.
After your brick, what are you reading? Because what is your plan after that?
So, here's how this goes, okay?
One
of the things that I'm doing this year, in an effort to reduce my TBR, to make my TBR actually shrink over the course of the year, is that I'm limiting how many books I'm allowed to get in a single month.
Okay.
To however many I read the previous month minus one. Right?
Okay.
So, like, I've read 6 books this month, which means that in February, I'm allowed to get 5 books. I'm allowed to add 5 books to my TBR.
Uh-huh. Because you take 5
But
off.
I could also, like, take a book off, and that would allow me to add another book, but then that book's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I'm not allowed, my TBR isn't allowed to go up by more than 5 books. Right? And this is like a way to, like, balance myself out. But what this unfortunately means is because I read 20 books in December.
Oh my god.
So 19 books have been added to my TBR this month. Which means there's a lot of books that I'm, like, very interested in reading soon-ish. But I wanted to pick out a couple that I'm particularly looking forward to.
Okay.
So one I talked about this series quite a bit in our 2024 roundup. But it's the Burnished City series by Davinia Evans. So the first one is Notorious Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got book 3 of that on my TBR, Rebel Blade, because that came out in December. And nobody got it for me for my birthday or for Christmas, despite the fact it was on my list. Bastards. So I got it for myself.
Strong, I do the same time.
So I want to read that one soon because I really enjoyed that series.
Yeah.
I've also got the sequel to Iron Widow on my TBR, Heavenly Tyrant.
Yes, same.
I want to read that one soon. And then the other one is my sister has been not the one who reads an insane number of books, but the one who reads a normal number of books.
The sane one.
Telling me for years, as she's read all of the Robin Hobb books.
Stunning.
And she's been telling me for years that I also should. So I picked up Assassin's Apprentice.
Oh, yes. Okay, I love it.
Second hand from Barter Books when we went to Alnwick in early January. And I was like, I'll give it a go. So
it's fun.
That's one that I would like to pick up soon as well. Especially because after I finish this big chunky sci-fi one, I'm probably not going to want to read sci-fi for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but also, I don't want to start that before I finish my audiobook of Dragonfly Falling, because I don't want to be reading 2 fantasy deep fantasy things at the same time, because that will confuse me.
And the magic system in Assassin's Apprentice is really interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's really fun. It gets more convoluted later.
Oh, good. That's what I like to hear. I said, now I'm looking forward to it even more. It gets more complicated.
It's so fun, and it's all about how you connect with people. And be prepared for severe father issues. It's so good. It's so good. Book 2, I think, is my favourite out of the 3, but I really enjoyed the first one. The first one's so fun. Just be in mind that it's like a child you're in the head of for most of it. You're like 8 for most of the book.
Right. Okay. Because I know that it's there's this trilogy, and then another trilogy, and then another trilogy, and then I think there's a quadrilogy in there at some point, and then another trilogy or something insane like that. So I was like, this has the potential to, to entertain me for a while. As if I need that when I've got 8 fucking Adrian Tchaikovsky books to get through.
Oh my gosh. I
love you, Adrian.
Love you, Adrian. Heart eyes. I love your stupid little vest that you wear on your author photo.
It's
so iconic.
Incredible.
It's so good. I want it. I was weirdly enough, I'm also technically reading a Tchaikovsky at the moment as well. But it's oh my god, it came out last year. We see what was it? What are you called? I need to build it up. I didn't write it down. Cage of Souls.
Oh.
Which is end of the world, possibly.
Okay.
Which I'm finding kind of fun.
Is this one of his little standalone ones?
Yeah, but it's 700 pages. Because he's
Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. It is, I think, do not quote me on this, it's a retelling of, what's that classic novel where he's in the prison? Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh.
I think it's a retelling, because it's giving Count of Monte Cristo. So far, because he's in prison. But it's all the water's turned to acid, and there's tons of creatures that we know, but they've accidentally merged. It's kind of fun. in spooky. I'm 50 pages in because I got distracted with other things, but you know. It's fun.
Fair enough.
It's fun. It's also a memoir. It's fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like a fictional memoir.
I do like a fictional memoir. I think they're hella fun.
God, Adrian, stop writing interesting books.
Stop it. Because at one point...
At least pause writing interesting books for a while so I can catch up.
Take a hot second.
Just take a break.
Good thing is they're all at my library, so I can just grab them without having to spend money. Which is beautiful.
That's handy.
I'm poor. Especially after December. But like, it got to a problem because I'd taken out Service Model, which I just finished. I'd taken out that one. There was another short story I'd taken out of his, and I was almost tempted to get another one today, but I didn't. I held myself back. Stop writing good things.
I know. How did you get on with Service Model in the end? Because I know you talked about it and weren't like loving it.
Yeah, I find it really. I'm
curious what you're like.
Yeah, I found it interesting.
I
liked it. I think I gave it a 3.5. I can't really remember.
That's pretty good from you.
Which is, I like it. It's a good book. I really like how each section is remnant of a different like classic author. Mm-hmm. Like the ending chapter being the author of Dante's Inferno, I think was really fun. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think the repetitiveness, which I know is the complete point of that book, really got to me. Which made me put it down for a bit and then pick it back up. But it just was a tiny bit. Also, how did he not realise? How did the robot not realise that, you know, the whole twist? It baffles my brain.
Eve, I can't remember the book.
I can't remember it. The person's a human.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can't remember their name.
Well, I think it's just, you know, it's kind of... That's kind of the point.
It is kind of the point.
Thing is that, like,
yeah.
He was told that was a robot.
Yeah.
So why would he not believe it?
Yeah. And
it is a bit funny. Because there's moments where it's like, oh, they're leaking.
What is happening to them? They were on their side asleep. I should not wake them. Let me just leave.
Yeah.
Why are they lying down? Oh, they're a robot. Okay. For a dead second, I thought they were dead for a couple of the chapters. But that's a whole other thing. It's a very fun book. It just didn't hit as much as I'd like it to for me. But win some, you lose some. I think I like their fantasy, Adrian's fantasy, a little bit more currently. Mm-hmm. But I'd have to try other sci-fi by him. So we'll see. Yeah.
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 Nice. What about have you got anything that's, you know, on your TBR that you're particularly...
My up next is State of Last Chances. I'm still on Adrian. So that's my only planned book so far. But I'm going to pick up
also our book club book for March, by the way.
But it's going to be fun.
I know that's, you know, we've announced this already.
Woo!
I know it's not really an exciting thing, but yeah.
No, it is exciting. It's more Adrian.
Yeah, well,
I'm excited. But it's because I'm currently reading 5, so I'll probably think of something else by the time I've finished another one. Because I'll need to pick up another audiobook after noon because I'm flying through it.
Yeah. Well, there'll be new audiobook proofs tomorrow.
I know. I'm so excited. There's going to be absolutely fuck all.
You? No. I was going to say,
I get another credit tomorrow.
Oh, well, that is exciting.
That is exciting. I could buy a Becky Chambers.
I have 2 sitting that I haven't used yet.
Smart. See, I kind of used all my...
And like 40 odd books on my wish list of like, maybe I'd like to get... To be fair, most of those are the audiobooks of Discworld.
That's a shout, actually. I haven't listened to
have the audiobooks of those.
Yeah. I haven't listened to Discworld audiobooks. I should get on that.
They did a new bunch like a couple of years ago where they got like a different narrator for each like sub-series.
Oh, okay.
So like all of the witches ones have one narrator and all of the guards ones have one narrator and stuff like that.
Oh, that's quite good though. I like that.
Yeah. And then there's like some people who are... So I think Bill Nye reads the footnotes.
Ooh, fun. Okay.
And Peter Serafinowicz is the voice of death in all of them.
Consistency. World building, I like it.
But like the narrator varies depending on the sub-series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I should start collecting all of those so that I've got them all.
That is fun. Is there anything else you want to say? Like,
well, I know
anything on your mind?
You had something. I'm just annoyed about AI, which is just always a thing.
Oh, always.
I'm sure. Okay, this is going to date the episode a little bit, but that's fine. There was this story recently about DeepSeek.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Which is this Chinese AI chatbot thing.
Yeah.
That's like, ruined everybody's stock prices or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. And I really wish I could be happy about this because it is kind of funny how many like US AI companies are like, I've been working for ages on this and now my work means nothing. And I'm like, how do you think authors feel? How do you think artists feel? But also I'm like, I really wish it wasn't another AI company that had done that to them.
Yeah.
Because fuck AI.
Fuck AI. It's getting so bad
it
out
really
there
is.
In the trenches. Like, it'll be so shocking. Because my friend said to me this the other day, we are, like, if we interact with a child, we will have to explain to them that we grew up without it.
Yeah.
And they won't have. And it's just kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's like when our parents said they grew up without the internet. It's going to be that kind of thing. It's going to be so strange.
Yep. And of course, like, governments, the UK government included,
yeah.
are like determined to integrate AI into everything.
I don't want it.
No.
No one wants this.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying as a person. It's terrifying as somebody who writes things.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's also, publishing is getting very like, a lot of, there's an AI caught in pretty much everything at the moment, which is getting really fucking annoying. And you'd think they'd double down on trying to get more originality rather than chock filling things about.
They care about profit.
Exactly. You can't fucking eat money. Like,
I think you probably could if you're rich enough.
I mean, you could probably like 3D print something edible at some point, right? That's how Star Trek works. Yeah. Fuck AI. Fuck this shit. Absolutely
that's what's really bugging me recently is that like every day it feels like there's some new like here's why AI is great story, and I'm really fed up of it. Yeah.
No one wants
And also, shout out to fucking Google Docs, which now like forces AI on you and does in fact scrape your Google Docs for AI.
Yep. I'm currently moving stuff off of it.
If you're a writer and you're using Google Docs, find another platform.
Yeah.
Do not have anything in your Google Docs that you know, don't want AI getting its fucking fingers in.
Yep. I'm scared even for my fanfics.
Yeah. Get everything off. Yep. Use a fucking local platform that's only on your computer that isn't connected to the internet that they're not going to add AI to.
Pen, paper.
Or write it down. Yeah. Get a fucking typewriter.
Don't tempt me. 8 of them, please. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's fuck that shit.
It is so insanely worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a better note, have you seen the Brigands and Bread Knives cover?
I have not.
It came out a couple of days ago. Travis tweeted it, I believe. It's the US cover, so it's the illustrated one.
Okay, but it's still like,
it's fun. The horse girl in me loves it.
Yeah.
It's so cute. And I think, have you read the synopsis of it? Because I think the synopsis might be new as well.
I have not.
You need to read it. It's not my favorite kind of like synopsis, because obviously I can't give too much away, but
yeah.
It looks fun.
I know it's about Fern.
Yeah, which makes me happy. Fern.
I'm assuming it's about Fern moving to whatever the city's called, where Viv is.
Fern moves there, and they go on a quest at some point, and they get in trouble, and they meet a goblin friend. I can't remember if they're a goblin or something else. Something like that. And there's also a horse now on the cover, and it just makes me happy.
Okay, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound...
I mean, I'm going to read it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen. Everything else that Travis has produced has been 5 stars. So...
Yeah. I'm
excited.
Yeah, looking forward to the UK cover then, I guess.
Right.
I like the UK covers of them.
I know you do.
I think they're nice.
I think they're cute. I just don't think they're as good.
And I like the illustrated ones too, but that's why you get the hardbacks of the UK ones, because they come with the illustrations on the end papers.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
Exactly. They're gorgeous. They're stunning. I'm so excited. And it's
still
supposed
need
to come
to read
out
that short story.
Oh, the wee kids one.
Well, because I think that's connected, right?
Yeah, I haven't read it either, to be fair.
It's called like Goblins and Greatcoats or something, I think.
Oh wait, did I read it? I'm trying to remember. I must have.
And it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, Goblins and
Yes.
Goblins and Greatcoats, and I think the goblin in question is the goblin that's part of the plot.
Fun. Okay.
So it is like very specifically tied in.
Do you think Fern will write the book in it? Oh, wait, that would be cute.
Maybe.
That would be quite sweet.
Given the cover of Goblins and Greatcoats, there is a horse on it, so...
She definitely writes the fucking book!
Maybe this is where the horse comes from.
She must.
For brigands and bread knives.
I love horses.
Who knows?
Who knows? That's exciting. But that's my theory.
No, that's exciting. Because that's coming this year sometime, right?
Yeah, November. Possibly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the others were Novembers.
Yeah. Well, they are quite like... It feels quite like end of the year Christmassy-ish. Even though the last one took place during the summer. Or spring at least.
It came out in November.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we both read it in like May.
Oh yeah. I hope that happens again.
I will be in touch with our fucking bookshop Pan Mac rep. I will be like,
beg please.
I have a need. For the proof of brigands and bread knives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. They just actually bring you bread. I'll be upset.
And then I will, I can take pictures of all the pages and send them to you.
Exactly.
Proof.
Just get 2, or you photocopy it and send it my way.
I'll send it to you like one picture of a word at a time.
Okay. It's like Dracula Daily.
Just use up all of my phone storage. Taking up pictures of individual words.
It'll take up all my email storage or whatever. Just send it over.
Oh god, and then like 2 of the words send in the wrong order.
Yeah, and then I have to piece it together. Is that just Jawbone or whatever? Jigsaw's Jawbone?
Oh, Kane's
Jawbone. I got stuck on Jigsaw. I was like, that's definitely the wrong franchise. Do you want to play a game?
With my Jawbone?
With my little Jawbone. No.
Oh god, we've lost the plot.
Yeah. But no, it looks really cute. It looks so fun.
Yes, I'm sure. I think we can pretty safely say now that that's going to be a book club book.
Oh yeah.
Later this year.
I hope so. If the publishing gods continue to have that
publishing
date.
Gods.
Publishing gods.
They're not gods, they're fucking devils.
Yeah. If Travis Baldry wills it so. Oh.
Could have sell them your soul to get what you want.
Yeah. I can't keep selling it. I've got like back payments I need to get to. Stunning. Well.
Excellent.
This was such a fun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the first one of the year.
I know.
I'm going so high there. Yeah. So spooky.
And we will be back in a couple of weeks for our book club episode about Dragon Age to Winter Nights by a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, short story collections. So you have
a Dragon Age short story anthology.
Yeah.
It's got some good ones in it.
Yeah.
It's got some less good ones in it. It's an anthology. They're all like that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to talk about it because here's I don't know if you noticed this, but I did a little sneaky thing, okay?
You did a sneaky
I noticed that when you did your review of it, you included in your review on Storygraph what you rated each of the stories.
I did.
Right? I have written all of my ratings down. I have not put them on my Storygraph review. So I know what we both rated every story, but you don't. And there are some discrepancies, let me fucking tell you that.
To be fair, I still have to go back and check though. So some things might be moved.
Wild differences.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared to... I can't remember what I rated anything.
We agreed on a few. There were a few that were both, like, agreed on. But there are some where it's, like, polar opposites almost.
Okay. Oh.
But that's fine, because
that'll be exciting
to talk about.
Exactly. That'll be so fun.
Yeah, join us in a couple of weeks.
Hell yeah.
For that. And if you've not read the book, you've got time.
You got plenty of time. Yeah. Get to it.
Get off your ass, or get on your ass, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sit down. Don't stand up and read unless you have to. It's not good for your legs.
Anyway.
Yeah. Go read it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you for joining us here at the Tavern. Phoenix, where can our listeners find you outside the podcast?
You can find me at Beans and Fungi on Blue Sky and Instagram. What about you, Eve?
And you can find me under Cozy Crow with an S and not a Z on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky and YouTube.
And of course, make sure that you're following the podcast itself on Instagram at Hearth and Tome Pod, Blue Sky at Hearth and Tome, TikTok at hearth.and.tome, and YouTube at Hearth and Tome Pod to get updates about when episodes come out, as well as behind the scenes bits and bobs.
Heck yeah. Okay then.
Cool.
Bye. The music used within this episode was Wholesome by Kevin MacLeod through incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.